Hi, and welcome to a course and a little bit of a video on how to create a ditch bag for your family. There's a couple of names that these go by. One of them is a ditch bag and the other one is a bug out bag. And essentially everything that you see laid out on the table here is in a backpack that my wife can grab at any time. So if she grabs this, I know that she's going to have everything that she needs to survive in her car and with her for at least a couple of weeks. Now, it seems like a small amount, but really if there's a natural disaster in the Vancouver area, like an earthquake or a tsunami or something like that, you're going to have to get out of the lower mainland area and up into the mountains or the Coquihalla or somewhere up in that area. So these are the basic items that in my mind, and there's some that we'll do in the second part and the third part, that will help you kind of establish what your base goal is and what your base is that you require as a family. Now, I have two girls, a wife, and myself, so there's four of us. Now I have to think about how that will equate to weight, food, and space, moving somewhere. So some of the basics here, we're going to start at this end and we're going to work down this way. So we're going to start actually with the bag itself. Now, myself, I'm ex-military, so I have a little bit of a background in carrying a pack for a long period of time, but also what works and what doesn't work. But remember that everything works differently for everybody else. So what I like might not be what suits you. So start with a bag like this. This is a Condor 3-day assault backpack. This one, now this isn't a bad backpack. It's not an expensive backpack. It was about $60 or $70 US. Back padding here has a hole here that's insulated for a hydration, which isn't on the table right now, but we'll do that later. It also has a lot of room in here, a lot of pockets, so there's storage. There's separate compartments for medical, for whatever you want to separate it up as. There's quick access panels on the back, which allow for gun magazines if you've got a gun that you're planning on taking, pens, pretty much everything. Now, I've used this bag from Disneyland to hiking to airsoft, and it's durable. And it's got lots of the little lanyards for there, so you can switch on lights. If your kids are carrying it or you're carrying it, if that's on, you're going to be noticeable to somebody. We used those in Disneyland. They were fantastic. The other part of that is, and this is a backpack that's strictly meant for hydration. Now, there's a bag in here that'll hold about 6 or 7 liters of water. It'll either fit into this backpack or you can wear it underneath the backpack, and it straps on. It's got a little mouthpiece. Obviously, you want to make sure you keep that clean. This one is from the Marine Corps, and it's a Camelback. It's really well insulated and it holds a lot of water. So starting down at this end, a couple of things that you really want to focus on as a base is, one, water, because without water it's going to be really bad, and two, making sure that you're staying warm and dry. Now, the third part of this video is going to be based on clothing and what you need for clothes and what you don't need for clothes. For me personally, obviously because I have no hair, I always try to have a fleece, what they call a watch cap. And this is probably made by Condor as well. They are fantastic. It's easy to lose heat, especially at night. And if you're in the mountains or the desert, having something like this will keep you warm. And never mind your jacket, but just talking about heat loss from your head, a little fleece cap like this is good, or a baseball hat like I'm wearing. A set of gloves if you're going to be doing anything in the bushes. These are Hex Armor. I love them personally. They're absolutely fantastic, durable gloves. These are about 2 years old. They're really great. A couple of things that I know from experience wearing combat boots: laces. Your boots and your shoes are completely useless to you without spare laces. So I've replaced these laces just recently. I got them a bit longer because I like longer laces. I took the laces out and I kept the spare ones. And I also have extra laces because I can use these for tying things to trees, to tying food up off the ground on the branches. So for me personally, I always keep a lot of extra shoelaces. They're very, very strong. Radios. Now, going out into the bushes or going out and camping somewhere. This is my personal radio. This is the one that's in my wife's car. They're Baofeng UR5Vs. They're 8 watt. Now I'm actually upgrading these this coming week to 15 watt, which means the distance will be a lot greater. And then these ones I'll use for airsoft, but everybody's different. You can get whatever kind you want. And for transmitting, they're pretty straightforward. You just press one, talk into the other, and I'd be able to find my wife. We have a predisposition place where we're going to go to, and if she's not there, I have to assume that she's somewhere close to there, and I'll be able to use the radio to pick her up. For me personally, my essentials is a knife, and this is a custom-made knife by Red Rhino in the United States. Now, the reason I had this made was, one, it's made for my hand, for the width of my hand, so I get a good grip on it. I can cut wood with it because it has a really thick back edge, so I can hammer the back with a sledgehammer or a hammer, and I can cut through wood just by putting it down and hitting the back of it, and that's why I had the thicker blade. Now, the other part of it is obviously keeping warm. The back of the blade functions in two senses. Is I can strike and make fire with a magnesium stick. So when I had this knife made, I was specific in what I was looking for in a knife, and it actually sits there, and then this whole piece sits on my belt, and then obviously flashlight, because flashlights are good in the dark. So that takes care of like immediate stuff. Water, this is called a life straw, and super important. Fresh water, clean water. Now, you might think, oh, well, I know where there's a really nice stream or a river up near Kamloops. Fantastic. But what happens if something died in that water, or if there's been a lot of rain and there's a lot of mud coming down through that stream? This is a life straw. You put it into the water. Obviously, you take both ends off, and you can suck the water directly from the stream, directly through here, and drink it. And it is fantastic. And it takes it down like really, really low microns, so you're not going to get sick, and it takes all the dirt and the sediment out of there as well. So these are, just so we're clear, all of this stuff comes out of this backpack other than my boots. There's a compass, which, there's orientation classes on YouTube. You can learn how to use a compass. It's usually pretty good. For me personally, I use a GPS, so I know exactly where I'm going and where my marks are on the GPS. Elva has this in her car, Elva being my wife. This is another fire starter. These come in these little packets, and you can start fires with these really easy. Another little pen light, a flashlight, which is a pocket-sized flashlight. You're trying to get a good small flashlight, so it's not taking up a lot of room. High lumen, so and this one's focusable, so if you can see this on my hand, you can see that you can use this in two different ways. There's a whistle. Whistles are really important, so somebody can hear you if there's something going on. And then a little multi-tool. Now, this is okay. This isn't great, but it is part of the package, so whether it gets used or not, it came with the package and I left it in. Batteries, really important. We use AA, AAA, and I have a 9-volt just in case. A little first aid kit, but we're going to do first aid kind of in a later video. So everybody has these, or not everybody has them maybe, but they see them everywhere. They're it's a paracord bracelet. This actually turns into a string, which you can use to tie things down, tie things together, whatever you want to do. Now, the other part of this is also part of this piece right here, which is also, for making, I use this one that's actually on the bracelet, again, for fire. Fire is really important because you being cold or hypothermic, and you never know when a disaster is going to happen. An earthquake could happen in the middle of winter, and fire is going to be the only thing that keeps you warm and alive. Again, it's a fire starter on the bracelet. And the second part of it is a whistle. So I don't know how good these are. I got it, and it's been part of our pack whether I would actually use it or not. I probably use the string. I have better fire starters. Multi-tool, you never know what's going to happen. This is just a standard run-of-the-mill spring-loaded multi-tool for pliers. It has a knife in it. It has screwdrivers in it. It has everything that for the short term is going to be fine to use. Another compass. Yeah, I'm big on compasses. If I run out of batteries on my GPS, what am I going to use? I'm going to use my compass. Now, we all have phones, and we'll get to charging our phones later with solar power, but some medicine for the kids, one aspirin, and the other one is a cough syrup for the kids. Matches and iodine, really important. If you cut yourself, scratch yourself, iodine, make sure it's going to be fine. And these are waterproof matches. So that is going to be the end of our first video. We're going to get into talking about the rest of the safety stuff that's in a ditch bag, but kind of relates outside of keeping you alive. This is going to be the food and how to manage yourself once you're on site, and the things that you're going to need to do to prepare yourself. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.